Y equals f of x on the closed interval 0 to 4 is shown above. So keeping in mind this is a graph of f of x, which of the following could be a graph of y equals f prime of x? So we're being asked to essentially compare a function and its derivative. So what I would do with this problem is looking at this function. I would look at first just the slope of it. So from 0 to, right here, which looks like it's probably about 2, but from 0 to 2, our slope is negative, and then it's positive after hitting 0. So what that means about my derivative graph is I have to have a graph down here, a derivative graph, that starts off as being negative, hits 0, and then becomes positive. So this derivative graph is always positive because it's always above the x-axis, so it can't be a. In part B, you have a graph that's always positive because it's always above the x-axis. Part C, you have something that starts off as negative, hits 0, then becomes positive, so it could be C. Part D, we have something that's negative, hits 0, becomes positive, so it could be D. And then in part E, you have negative to positive back to negative, which our graph does not do. So then I'm looking between C and D and trying to figure out which one of them it is based off that. So looking at this initial slope, this is initially negative. I start by decreasing, but it's very close to a slope of 0. And on the other end, while this is positive, it's getting smaller with a slope that's getting closer to 0. So I need a graph, a derivative graph, that's close to 0, then is negative, then in 0, then positive, then 0. So that would make my answer D, since it starts very close to 0, then it's negative, hits 0, is positive, and then goes very close to 0 or is 0. Down here, this would be a graph that's starting off with a very steep negative slope. So not C.